It's time to spill the tea.
Hello!
You there, and welcome to
A Spoonful of Theatre. And this is another one of our Spill the Tea podcast reviews, where we review a piece of local Singapore theatre right outside the theatre foyer. I'm TJ, theatre practitioner and director.
And I'm Sam, a teacher of language, literature, and a self-proclaimed show business lovey. And TJ, what have we just seen?
I don't know. We have just watched The Christians by Wild Rice, and wow. It just left me speechless, honestly, which is not good for a podcast. So I'll find some words in a minute. So Sam, what's your first thoughts?
I was completely blown away.
Me too.
The atmosphere that was created from start to finish completely sucked me in. I felt like I was a member of the congregation. I had to consciously remind myself that I was a member of the audience seeing a piece of drama.
Yep.
And what they've done in order for me to consciously have to remind myself to do that is phenomenal. I've been absolutely blown away.
For me, the last line of the show says it all, and it was, "Don't worry about figuring it out now. It will all make sense later." And that to me was what this writing was. It was a true piece of theatre that is making you question. We shouldn't always come to the theatre and it be comfortable.
No.
I think back to our interview with Ivan, and he says you can't scroll past
discomfort. Yes.
And when you are placed in the Ngee Ann Kongsi Theatre, but you are transported to this church, you really felt it. And that doesn't happen by accident.
No, not at all.
That happens by phenomenal performances, amazing direction, and amazing creative choices with the sound and the stage and the lights to make us believe that we were there. And I really felt, and especially in this theatre in particular, this play was perfect because we were a part of that show.
Yes.
Like you felt the audience around you gasp and be shocked, and it was an experience.
It was an experience. I feel like I've watched a soap opera on stage.
Yes. Yeah.
You can think of EastEnders or Coronation Street or Hollyoaks or
Get out of my pub!
But I really felt that I was watching a soap opera there. And for theatre to create such connections to characters straight away, and we'll go into the performances in just a moment, but it was just stunning.
Yep.
Just stunning. So let's get into the nitty-gritty there. Where do you want to start?
Let's just start with Shane. Shane Marzuki, that is an absolute career-defining performance.
100%.
True skill. Oh my goodness. He did not leave that stage from coming on at the very beginning to the end. And the emotional journey that's written into that character, but then what Shane's added to it, you just believed him.
Yes.
He was
Yes.
charismatic, and the monologues, my goodness, like the pages of monologues that he must have learnt, but the skill in dealing with those, because when you have a character that has so much text, if you don't add interest and pacing and skill to that, it is not going to come across, and it's going to be very easy to be bored in a play like that. But my goodness, there was not a moment that I was bored in this show.
No,
I did not look at my watch once.
Nope.
It was a true masterpiece. Shane, absolute stellar performance.
I completely agree. Shane owned that stage. That I believed him to be a pastor before I remembered he was an actor. It was just brilliant. The opening sermon, we'll be careful not to give spoilers, but the opening sermon, I was completely sucked in. The storytelling was just on point, and I completely agree with you, TJ. A career-defining performance. You've had the pleasure of being on stage with Shane.
I have.
We've seen Shane in several other performances with other companies. This really was career-defining. Shane, well done, man. You've done a stellar performance.
But I think all the other actors on that stage, it just shows what amazing talent we have here in
Yes.
Singapore. Like, just true artistry with performances. The connections, you believed all of them. Xuan playing the pastor's wife. Bless her, she was sat on stage for about 40 minutes not doing anything. But my goodness, when she started acting, wow.
Yeah.
Just fantastic writing, but fantastic performances. Really, really, really amazing. Every single person on the stage. Yeah, loved it.
Not just the actors, but behind the actors, we also had a choir and a band with the wonderful musical director Elaine Chan. Beautiful, lovely to see you on the stage this time, which was marvelous. But this is where I want to come to atmosphere building, because a lot of productions are now doing this, where you're not just a member of the audience waiting for the curtain to go up. There's that little pre-game aspect where we're going to start building up the atmosphere. We're going to start building up the, not tension, but the atmosphere, the environment.
Yeah.
And this show really had it down. As I say that, I felt like I was a member of the congregation. I felt I was a member. And that's because of the choir. The choir was singing Christian songs that I think most audience members would know. Like there was little nods to Sister Act. I'll give you a little hint there. And seeing the band on stage, that it really felt like it was in a church.
It was amazing. And if you want our top tip, arrive at the theatre 10 minutes early and get your seats, because honestly, that was such a great way to start the show. Big shout out to the showstoppers and our open mic performers that were in the...
Sean, Shorty, Shreya.
Beautiful. Some lovely singing. So well done, everybody there. And yeah, I think I don't even know. I wonder whether that was actually written in the script or whether that was something they added, which I don't know the answer to that.
We'll find out. We'll find out later. We'll find out later.
We'll find out later. But yeah, absolutely stunning. And the set, Chi, your set, just absolutely stunning set. Really, really lovely. It felt like a modern church.
Yes.
It felt like one of those new modern churches.
So a little bit of my history here. There was the Great Storm of 1987, which was before you were born.
Yes.
But one of our local churches was blown down, and so they built one called St. Justice. And I'm not. I come from the Christian tradition, but I'm not religious. But I visited there on a school trip, and it was a modern church, as if you can imagine a modern church built in the 1990s. That set absolutely reflected that. It really felt like a modern 21st century church. No, brilliant. In terms, it's simple, but it didn't need to be loud.
No.
It was just what it needed to be. That set was marvelous.
Yeah. I mean, it's a very interesting play, because I think Ivan said it at the end there. The Christians is a provocative title in Singapore specifically, because religion, I suppose around the world it's very sensitive, but particularly in Singapore, in a country where many religions live side by side, IMDA often pick up on things that are religious based, because they don't want to upset different religious communities. However, this play wasn't there to diss Christianity in any way.
No.
But it held up a mirror.
Yes.
Which is what we always say about Wild Rice. It held up a mirror just to question.
Yes.
And not question does Christianity exist, but question the question beliefs, question your place in the world, which what every single good play does.
Yes.
Whether it's about religion, whether it's about soccer, or I don't know, like whatever it's about, a good play gets audiences to think and question, and that is certainly what we did in the Wild Rice Theatre tonight.
Yes, I completely agree. And again, it goes back to the writing, as you say, because it touched on things that we know exist in religion. There's a corporate aspect to religion. There is a political aspect to religion. And throughout history, there have been debates, there have been schisms, there have been all sorts of things. And the writing and the story touched on those without criticizing or without poking it. It kind of raised it as matter-of-factly that these sorts of things exist within a religious community, and I thought that was very, very well done. And it was very, very thought-provoking.
Yep.
And the way I would summarize it is that on one side you have the cup half empty, on the other side you have the cup half full.
Yep.
That is exactly how I would summarize that story, but it was so interesting seeing the dynamics between the characters play that out. Brilliant.
And
really good storytelling.
It's been told with love as well. You can tell that Glenn, the director, beautifully has taken this work and nurtured it.
Yes, I agree.
It's done really sensitively with care.
Yes.
And it's done with, I feel like, with the audience in mind, to not spoon feed you.
No.
And that's what I love, actually, because sometimes I feel like some plays spoon feed us. This didn't spoon feed us. It just said, here it is, have an opinion.
Yeah.
You're welcome to it. And I did find that the audience were having those opinions.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know if you heard, about halfway through, there was a call out from an audience member, which just shows how engaged and involved, and that we all believed that we were actually in that zone. And it felt like a bit of a negative call out as well from that audience member who disagreed with what was happening on stage, which is great.
Yes.
That's what theatre is about.
Yes.
Like, you don't have to agree with everything. So, like, come experience it. Like, challenge yourself to think and be exposed to different points of view. That's exactly what the theatre is all about.
Yes, definitely. Now then, ladies and gentlemen, as you know by now, when TJ and I go and see a piece of theatre, we always give it a spoonful rating out of 5, but we never reveal how many spoonfuls we are going to give until the moment has come, and that moment is now. So, on the count of 3, TJ, 1, 2, 3, 5. Oh, there we go! Yes!
Perfect tens across the board.
Well done, and it's so easy. Again, the storytelling, the immersion of this play, and Shane's wonderful, stellar, career-defining performance. Well-deserved 10.
Fantastic start to the Wild Rice season. I truly enjoyed every second of this play. It was everything that theatre is about, and you have to come and catch it while it's on. It is going to be one of my favorites, I think, this year. I can already tell.
I agree. So make sure you come down to the Ngee Ann Kongsi Theatre to catch Wild Rice's The Christians. Tickets available on Sistic, and it is playing until the 2nd of May. Now, my tea's gone cold, love. Should we leave it there?
Let's.
So, to the cast and crew of Wild Rice's The Christians,
and anyone else performing in Singapore theatre,
break a leg.